Today is February 24th, 24. Got more of them to scatter. They sold a login. There's different agencies looking into this. When you find out it's just that agent that opened my case stealing, December 2nd, 22, Wendy's Alliance, one of the officers assigned to me. I had a day program. They were out there with me. They come in and said, "Is that the one that church tried to have killed?" He said, "Yes." Said, "I heard she didn't get any money out of it." He said, "No. It's the one guy from the case stealing every dime since the first day, and that's why nobody helped her. This is him stealing." Okay. In January to February 19, they called him a paid-off dirty agent. There was a guy out in the mall with a domestic violence group that were trying to help protect me. He said, "She's amazing. I could write a bestseller." And what happened? I call it Karen's Prayers. A paid-off dirty agent. A man trying to kill his wife and men being shot at running it. It'd be a bestseller. Okay. October 4th, 23. Walmart, Walmart 62 in Canton. 8, 9 in the morning, I'm walking around. Some ladies are saying, we talked to those men that watch her. Those officers that watch her. Those men that watch her? Yes. We asked them if she did anything wrong before, and they said no. That all these people have are their stalking tapes, where they admitted they drugged her and told her to say it before, admitted that they photoshopped everything and made everything up on her before in those stalking tapes. And where that, and this is October 6, 23. I'll take it back. It's October 6, 23. They probably still have it 8, 9 in the morning by the food aisle. Okay. Where that girl's bragging that they're stealing for her. It's actually the one guy's girlfriend. And it's the one guy from the case stealing every dime. Okay. October 4th, 23 in Maslin. The girl Lauren, the blonde hair girl, part of the human traffickers. She has a sister looks just like her. They used to be really heavyset when the case started. She's lost a lot of weight. Was bragging to Maslin that Will was stealing for her. They have talked about him stealing since January 19 in Walmart 62. Remember the truth, they'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agent is so corrupt, he'll try to steal your money. He's actually that corrupt. Okay? It's been about Will stealing. Now, okay. I want you to think about everything he did. It's him stealing my money. I had them nailed. Absolutely nailed. I had them nailed when I called the hotline. I had 4 attempts on my life, 2 documented by the Perry police. If he would have let me talk, I had a witness to the other one. Okay? And I found out a witness to the other one where I was following her around, did the attempt to break in. They knew where the security system was. Terry seen the attempted kidnapping, and Dave bragged to Dixie. He knew I was getting carjacked and left me on purpose. Okay? Katie was bragging in the mall to Sarah, her old manager, and a co-worker that it would have been her church trying to have me killed. Got him nailed. They confess to people. And there's proof. Okay? They should have been arrested the first day. Had somebody impersonate me, cost me a job at Advanced America, and 2 witnesses thereof or more. Okay? Had them nailed. And we'll have an agent call you back. The next morning, they drug me up so bad I can't answer the phone. It goes to voicemail. Now, think of the scenario in the circus show. Dave, I got all this proof on them. He walks into an FBI agent's office. Well, he's 60 years old with his 18-year-old stripper prostitute girlfriend on his arm. 18-year-old. Her brother is dressed up as a little white Santa Claus, saying that he's retired Judge Pete from the Ravenna courthouse. That's his baby girl, and he's drug beating, raping people for him. That's fake sodium pentothal, reports Roofie Confessions, to get the truth out of me. Okay? And they have the photoshopping and washing in the Sextortion Act. Minute they taped everybody in every room, including the bathrooms, stalking me. Okay? They had kiddie porn. They had rape on me. They had where they Peter. It's actually Alex, the white hair guy with his hair parted on side. Michelle's actually a stripper, and they were scamming the FBI. In a scam. defrauding the FBI, walked in there with Dave, and Strange. Like the one lady investigator, that minister better thank God that he's not alive, that he's dead. All these people died because of his stunt. Dave's still alive. He needs to go to jail for this 100%. Okay? And then a man impersonating a doctor from Altman Hospital selling information. No doctor can talk about you. It's just like the attorney-client privileges. They can't talk about you. They have to have your signed consent, or they lose their license, and it's a 10-year sentence and a $250,000 fine. It's a HIPAA violation. It's attached to their license. They can't talk to the police or the feds without your written consent. Okay? Impersonating a doctor is 1 to 10. Like the investigator said, it wasn't even funny. They said they had a doctor. It's not funny. They said they were a retired judge, drug beating, raping people. Huh? And if he would have actually took the time to look up Pete would be 75 or 80, because like Cecily Mullen said, I don't know who he is. He looks like a little white Santa Claus. He had to be retired a long time. He looks 60, 65 in that picture on the wall. So you put 10, 15 years. A 75, 80-year-old isn't going around drug beating, raping people. He wouldn't have an 18-year-old daughter. He'd have an 18-year-old great-granddaughter. He didn't bother to even look him up. And their scam is so ridiculous. Voyeurism is taking pictures of people naked without their permission. It's 1 to 5 years. Okay? Sextortion is like photoshopping the washing, try to extort money out of it. It's automatic jail time. What they have is what they call peeking Tom tapes. Okay? They're not admissible. I've talked to a criminal attorney, the prosecutor's office, someone from them in Stark County. I've talked to several police departments. It's the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. No one can be in your home but protected like cases with statements. Dave told our son Danny hired Pete on his own. Pete is actually Alex in a beard. The Massillon investigators and other police officers working the case, seeing the white-haired guy with his hair parted inside, the medium gray truck guy, in the Florida human traffickers, that is Michelle, the stripper's brother, impersonating and framing a Portage County judge that was retired. They said they talked to that family. They tried to blame. They knew nothing about it. It was just that stripper and Alex in a beard. The day of my divorce, 9/18/19, I found out they were getting in the back of places telling people I was an informant and they were there to protect me. Well, the regular cops didn't have to go in. The courthouse is full of police. Okay? Even the people in the courthouse during my divorce, that FBI informant's here. Supposed to keep an eye on her. And they talked about me being an informant before they even dropped off my file in 2020. All the cops in the courthouse knew I was an informant. Okay? They were outside my room. Before you had us look into it, you knew she couldn't handle it. You knew she appreciated us doing it. You can find she did nothing wrong. Well, looked like Judge Pete in the little white Santa Claus in a robe walking by like this. And Judge Timothy Luda comes in laughing. The judge over my case, a real judge. We're ready to begin. Well, I thought they were friends. He's laughing at that idiot for acting silly. He didn't even know who he was and what he was doing. He didn't realize he was impersonating a retired judge. Nope. And it was no judge. It was that stripper's brother. And that other guy, like they said, December 30th, 23 in Altman Hospital. I was in there with my client. Outside his room, the nurses were talking. No one's allowed to talk to these people. My God, they had somebody impersonate a judge from, or a doctor from Altman Hospital selling people's information. The hospital could get sued. It could get shut down because of HIPAA violations. Okay? And no one's to back those doctors from her before. They were all lying to the point they even said she had brain tumors. And it was medical malpractice. It was medication errors making her sick. It was those doctors. And they were all lying, just ripping off her insurance. Okay? So nobody's allowed to even back one thing those doctors ever said before, because they were all lying, just ripping off her insurance. Okay? They're talking about it in front of people. Some of the cops working the case walked by, and the one guy said, all those doctors were lying on her before. He said, yeah. They were just ripping off her insurance. It's a medication errors. None of this is funny. And they're talking about it in Altman Hospital, an emergency room. Okay? They admitted it was some guy impersonating a doctor selling information. Okay? And then it was medication errors. And all those doctors were lying, ripping off my insurance. Okay? And the cops were talking about it, and the nurses. Okay? And these people were impersonating. It's a sideshow. Walks into the FBI office, a 60-year-old man with his 18-year-old prostitute girlfriend. Her brother dressed up as a retired judge, like a little white Santa Claus. If you looked up the real Judge Pete, he would have been 75, 80. Wouldn't, yeah. And when known it wasn't him, he knew the HIPAA violations that any doctor selling your information is, or sharing it without written consent, is a 10-year sentence and a $250,000 fine. He was to arrest him, and anybody impersonating a doctor is 1 to 10 years. Like the investigator said, it wasn't even funny they said they had a doctor. It's not funny they said they were a judge. And it was just some stripper and her brother and one of their drug friends scamming the FBI with Dave and Strange running around. She was a faker 15 years ago, and it was a medication error. Almost killed me. After I had a bunch of surgeries, my muscles locked up, went to a bunch of crackpots, and they almost killed me. It took me 9 months to get well. And he even knew it was medication errors. Dave told him it was a medicine making her sick. He thought they put me on morphine, and here they put me on fentanyl to get me out of enough pain because my muscles were locked up so I could get out moving. And then for the muscles to unlock, and it took me 9 months to learn to walk again. None of it's funny. They encouraged Dave and I to sue him for 2 years. The whole scam is ridiculous. They can't do any of it. Voyeurism is taking pictures of people naked without their consent. It's a 1 to 5 year sentence. Photoshopping a washing scene or a feminine YB in the other room and then trying to extort money out of their voyeurism tapes is sextortion. Is 12 to 15. They admitted they taped in the bathroom. They took kiddie porn. Like the retired CIA agent, there's no excuse they didn't get arrested the first day for their confession. They can't impersonate a doctor. They can't impersonate a judge. They can't do any of this. Now, I want you to think. I was drugged up for 3 days, so bad I couldn't hardly get out of bed. Third day, I called Sarah to make sure she'll witness for me because I gave her the hotline, her information, and her old manager and her co-workers' information, how to get a hold of them for witnesses of knowing threats on my life. Of course, I'll witness for you. And then I go get her card. We go up to, we drop it off at the mall. We go up to Apostolic Church Barberton. That agent's up there telling Paul Paymer and 300 to 500 people that I called the FBI. Okay. And Dave comes in, let's go. And he told Danny I actually talked to him when I walked off. While Paymer was screaming at him. My God, I had an FBI agent. My office is right there. Drama queen. Okay. And he told Apostolic Church Barberton he knew I was being drugged, being raped, and tried to go along with Strange's lie of faking you were sick to cover up his son's adultery. Strange made it up. Strange made it up. It's a documented medication error, documented medical malpractice. The doctor said it in front of the cops. The first month, the cops always knew it was medical malpractice and medication errors made me sick. They always knew because I had to be in there to make sure Dave didn't hurt me. Okay? All right. They knew in 18. Want to play? They always knew. All right. So, when I called that agent back the next morning, I tell him somebody told him he called me a liar. It was him. We're on a recorded line. I tell him that somebody told on me and called me a liar. It was him. I told him that some guy had threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He called me a liar. There's badgering laws, Department of Justice 1729. You have to take a victim, a witness, or informant statement if you believe them or not and follow through. Or it's badgering. Badgering is obstruction, justice, tampering with evidence, and tampering with witnesses. They can never call you a liar. They can't badmouth you. Okay? Aiding and abetting crimes, like the Tuscarboro Sheriff said, you go to jail for it. Okay? 14th Amendment, you cannot seize anybody's money or assets out of due process of the law. You have to be found guilty and then sued for it. Never happened. You can't just take somebody's money. You can't withhold protection. 14th Amendment either. No matter what. Okay? All right. So, I tell him that guy threatened to knife me. He calls me a liar. At Giant Eagle, was there a camera by the bench? I don't know. And I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. Terry's seen him. Let me tape her with her permission. And before I could say, well, Terry's seen him. He's like, oh, come on now. I've talked to those church people. I've had them in my office. What did you just say? He said, I know why they're trying to kill you. You were faking you were sick before while that family was grieving. I don't blame them for trying to kill you. I'm like, what? I really was sick. I almost died. It took me 9 months to get well. I had endometriosis, had 6 to 10 surgeries, including kidney surgeries, and my muscles all locked up within a 2.5 year period. Went to the wrong doctors. They all falsely diagnosed me, ripped off my insurance, made me swell from my feet to my brain, made my heart get off, my thyroid, my adrenal gland quit working, told me I had brain tumors, told me I needed my part of my brain removed to cause brain swelling, made my heart get off to a point I'm in the cardiac wards on calcium blockers and nitro pills. And then all that stuff shutting down, and I swelled up from 105 pounds to like 250 to 275 pounds in a year. I was dying from medical malpractice, and it took another doctor to tell on him. And for me to get with a doctor on pain medicine and slowly get well, I lost 30 pounds the first month of swelling. Well, by the second month, my brain swelling was gone, my heart was beating fine, my thyroid and adrenal gland was working. It was all chemically shut down. They were killing me. Like the doctor at Altman Hospital, the only thing's wrong with you is you got too good of insurance, and you got the golden ticket insurance company, and they're ripping it off. And they're writing out big prescriptions, getting kickbacks from the drug companies. Get off that medication, you'll be fine. Dr. Eli said the same thing. Got me on pain medicine, fentanyl patches, and muscle relaxers, and it took 9 months to learn to walk again. It's not even funny that guy said that was faking. It was like a 4.5 year period. And he only did it because he thought he caught his son in adultery. Discredited me and got rid of me real quick. The minister made it up because he thought he caught his son in adultery. It's such a stupid lie, and it's a baby lie on top of it. But that agent's like, I don't blame him for trying to kill you. Now, that traffic accident was in 2003. I'm almost well in April. I started with Eli in November 2002. It's April of 2003. And I'm almost well. May 3rd, 2003. I'm at home. Brian Laney showed up and said Phil and a bunch of other people were running late for a church baseball game. He was a lead car. He didn't even stop for a stop sign. Nobody could believe he didn't stop. He ran into a semi, exploded the vehicle, killed them both. Phil was speeding fast enough it exploded his vehicle. He wasn't even showable. Tyler got ejected. He ran a stop sign. It was her father's fault. 100%. Showing off in front of the church people. Killed himself and their kid. I had nothing to do with it. And it's strange making up that lie in November 2003. I didn't get well till July of 2003. It took me 2 more months to finish getting well, where everybody's like, oh, you're going to beat this. Keep going. See you out driving your car, doing your own grocery shopping, pulling yourself up and down streets and malls and stores. You'll beat this. Come on, Karen. Look how thin you got. I got like 3 arms from all that extra skin from how big I got. Now, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it. Okay? I want you to think about it. He made it up when he thought he caught his son in adultery in November of 2003. It's just a shitty, mean lie. Had nothing to do with it. Okay? And so that agent going along with religious heresy made up by an occult leader. I said, I really was sick before. He's like, I've had that family in my office at Vegas. And he said, and you need to realize how much hurt and pain you caused everybody by faking you were sick. Did I cause them any hurt and pain? No, her father killed her kid. Like they said, they need to learn to deal with the shame of her father killing her kid. I had nothing to do with it. Him making up a baby lie on me had nothing to do with her father killing her kid. And putting their hurt and pain on me is illegal and wrong. And for you to say that it's okay for them to kill me because some bastard made up a lie to cover up his son in adultery. I said I really was sick. He said, was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. Then you say you're lying, I'll put you in jail. I went, what? He said, no, was there a camera above that bench or not? I don't know. You say you're lying, I'll rush you. It's like, fine, whatever. He laughs at me. Now I want you to say you're faking you're sick. I really was sick before. I have scars all over me. I have MRI reports showing the swelling. I have the false diagnosis of brain tumors. All right? And I have the fentanyl patches. They don't give fentanyl to fakers. They give it last part of cancer. Do you understand? And it took me 9 months to slowly get well. It's like I really was sick before. Now, I've had that family in my office. I've had those church people, and you need to realize how you ruin their life. I didn't ruin anybody's life. I really was sick before. He's like, you either say it or leave you there. I said, they're going to try to kill me. So? Like the apostolics can just kill people? Since when? I said, they've tried to kill me. So then you better say it. I said, I'm begging him, please don't let him kill me. Whatever you do, don't let them kill me. Then say it. It's like, fine, whatever. Okay? He's like, why would the FBI help a person like you? They've tried to kill me. So they're going to kill me. So give me a real reason. And then the other golden ticket, the other agent yells out, well, we ought to use Pete's tape of Weird with Yourself, the washing in the other room, photoshopped by the stripper's brother, which is Alex impersonating Pete. Huh? I said, what is he talking about? They even said it was a feminine wipey above the toilet in January 19 in front of the cops. And they said March 1st to 3rd of 21, they put two clips together, put her in a porn, it's not her, it's them. Then they described stuff that never happened. It's like, that sounds like showering. You touch yourself, you expose yourself, you touch yourself, look weird. But you're not weird. You're undressing, and then you put yeast infection cream on, or you're undressing, get the shower, and you're washing yourself. Sounds like washing. Ha ha ha. She figured out what they did May 12th, 22. 4 or 6 men, we found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose. And then at a Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, white man bald with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. He actually worked the case. They always knew the tapes before were them and not me. And then my client in Navarre, the White House before hers, in March of 22, that everything was drugged and photoshopped. And there was a lady in Save-A-Lot on Whipple, March 1st, or November 1st to 3rd of 21, that everything was drugged and photoshopped. They admitted framing me March 24th, 22, 1/130, that they framed me. It's documented I was drugged and framed by the drug cartel before I called the FBI. And he's making fun of a human trafficking victim they're scamming on a recorder line. Okay? And he said something about, well, we could use Pete's tape of this. I don't even know who Pete is. I had never talked to anybody or had anybody in my home. Okay? I said, what are you talking about? The only Pete I know is my brother in Medina. He's laughing, stops. You don't know. I bet if you're going to say you didn't know anything about Pete, I bet you're not going to say you know anything about this doctor. And da-da-da. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He's laughing, stops. You don't know. I wasn't part of the scam, scamming the FBI. They were defrauding them. And he would know they couldn't do any of that. Okay? Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own. Pete's actually Alex in a beard, framing a Portage County judge like they set up in Hartville. Those damn bastards that did this to her even tried to frame a Portage County judge. They did. Okay? All right. Now, he's already confessed. He talked to the church people to Vegas. He's also admitted he knew about Dave's scam of his supposed to be his girlfriend's dad, and it's his girlfriend's brother in a disguise scamming the FBI. And then one of their drug friends impersonating a doctor from Almond Hospital selling information. And how they're framing me, and I don't know. Laughing at me. So he's already been seen talking to Dave at Apostolic Church of Barberton. And he was also witnessed by 300 to 500 people telling on me. Okay? He's already admitted on a recorded line. Okay? He's talked to them, and he knew their scam and everything. Right? And he's talked to them. Right? And he's like, give me a real reason. I told him about my brother-in-law, Craig, that died working under Dick Cheney at the Pentagon. He's like, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you, but it has no money. I said, I don't have money to start. He said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, I can list you informant with money and immunity. Okay? I can do that. He said it comes with $5,000 a month. I'll open the account today. He said, I'll make sure nobody touches you and I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. You'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally dated against you again, and only for you would we ever do this for. We'll always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. You'll have that money to live on when you move out. Okay? And then he's like, if you try to tell someone though, I'll list you crazy, nobody will help you, and all kinds of crazy crap. So I'd be too scared to talk. Now, he's already admitted he talked to everybody. Okay? 14th Amendment, they cannot withhold protection. 14th Amendment, you cannot take somebody's money or assets without due process of the law and being found guilty. Okay? He stole my money on the first day. And he left me up there to die. I talked to my friend that worked at the prosecutor's office. That agent doesn't have enough authority to ask you to stay quiet. He's only a higher police officer. I said, well, he already confessed on a recorded line. He talked to everyone. He said, it don't matter. He's only a higher police officer. He doesn't have enough authority to ask you to stay quiet. And it takes a sitting judge and a sequestered or grand jury to put a gag order on you. He's only a higher police officer. He can't even ask you to stay quiet. He was just bullying you so he could get away with this. Okay? Talk to the criminal attorney. Same thing. Talk to other police officers. They want to know if our local police were slow. Want to know why they didn't arrest that agent for talking to me like that, taking my money and take care of me and myself themselves. That they should have stepped up and did it. Okay? That they should have helped to take care of me. And they should have arrested him for stealing my money and for badgering, an accessory to those crimes. And they should have stepped up. I've talked to several police officers. He does not have that kind of authority. It takes a sitting judge, First Amendment, the Constitution, the freedom of speech. They cannot take your freedom of speech away. And on top of it, he admitted. Oh, and he even told me the prosecutor's office, no sitting judge would sign his own arrest warrant. And the only thing that they can put in there is your money or immunity. They can put living, housing expenses in a medical card. I found out. But the money and the immunity. They can't even ask you to stay quiet. No sitting judge would sign that court order because the Department of Justice would put him in jail. That's the only thing he can put in there is your money and your immunity. And you stay an informant until they move you to another witness protection program. You get your money for working the case and only for working the case. I talked to a criminal attorney and he said the same thing. Do we understand? Will stole the money, like they said, December 2nd, 22 in Alliance. Is that one that church tried to have killed? He said, yes. I heard she didn't get any money out of this. He said, no, it's the one guy from the case stealing every dime since the first day for himself. It's will stealing. It's not in the court order that I can't say anything. A sitting judge would be arrested for breaking constitutional laws. Every constitutional law broke. It's 1 to 10. Where Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own. Pete's actually Alex, and it's no retired judge. It's just that stripper's brother in a disguise framing a Portage County judge like they'd be above the law if they said they were a retired judge. They're not above the law. Get it? Like they would be above the law. They're not. And it's just a stripper and her brother framing a Portage County judge. And there's no doctor from Altman Hospital. It's another drug dealer. Where I say it's 2 pimps and a prostitute. Yeah. But the thing of it is, they were in the human traffickers, the Florida group. Alex is a white-haired guy with his hair part on the side. The Maslin investigator seen him in Wendy's in Maslin. Dixie seen him, following me around. John seen him, and Darlene. But she also, I told her, I said, well, you knew Michelle, knew about Michelle, the young blogger. Yeah, I knew about her. I said, did you know about retired Judge Pete? I said, oh, I found out about him. She said, I always said it was ridiculous what they did to you. You think? Wait till she finds out it's just that white-haired guy with his hair parted on the side and a wig and a beard. She's just a stripper. She'll say that figures. John knew her. Melissa knew her. John's kids called her Auntie Shell. They made everything up on Thanksgiving of 18. And that they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. Michelle's nothing but a hooker. They were lying for a hooker. I want you to think about it. They were lying for a fucking hooker. Okay? Dixie knew her. That means Josh knew her. John knew her. His kids called her Auntie Shell. Danny's claiming he didn't know anything about her. He was the only one then. Faith Family Church, she showed up at church. She told everybody she was actually Will's daughter. Then she moved to being Pete's daughter. And you wait until that church finds out that she is nothing but a stripper. And that's her brother scamming everybody. And she's no judge's daughter. Retired judge's daughter. She's nothing but a stripper and her brother scamming everybody. Because they would show up and tell everybody she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, and they could do all this and that she was having me drug beat and raped, and she was dating Dave. Oh, she'd hold court, 10, 15 girls. They bragged to everybody their crimes. They sold the law again. They were with the Florida human traffickers. They had fake FBI badges. They're drug cartel guys getting in the back of Altman Hospital and other places. And they were just drug cartel people. Okay? That's where my neighbor Keith, I said, you know the big truck guys that said they were FBI working my case? He's like, at church? He's like, yeah, I remember them. I said, those were actually drug cartel people. He's like, Karen, that's fucked up. I said, the only ones working my case at the church was the sheriffs. He's like, Karen, that's fucked up. My God, those people needed Jesus. I showed him the picture of that stripper. I went, because they all look like strippers and prostitutes, following me around harassing me. So I looked at the strip clubs near Dave's work. One of the poster child looks just like Michelle. That's not her. She's a spit image of her. And I showed it to him. He's like, I've seen that her before. Where have I seen her? I said, she was at church mocking me. And he's like, my God, she needed Jesus. They all did. They better be finding Jesus and repenting. They find 3,000 people found out they're scammed. That's a lot of anger coming towards it. They're having the men from the strip clubs show up and harass me. I found out that one too. Where these idiots show up. It's men from the strip clubs. The strippers are having them do it. Because Michelle's nothing but a fucking hooker. And their drug cartel is drugging people up, raping them in their home, photoshopping scenes and drugging them up until them say stuff in sextortion acts. It's highly illegal. Like Dave told Danny Harpeet on his own, Pete's actually Alex. There's no court order, Fourth Amendment, the right of people to be safe and secure within your own person. No, your places, your papers, and your effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, they made the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. It's a Fourth Amendment. They made the biggest mistake. No searches, no seizures without probable cause warranted with the oath or affirmation of the people, places, and things to be searched and seized. You have to have a court order. To actually watch you in your home, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. Okay? Otherwise, it's entrapment. Otherwise, there's stalking, peeking Tom tapes, and voyeurism tapes. And then photoshopping thing is extortion. And then they got human trafficking me, rape, and then kiddie porn of my grandkids using the bathroom. They're looking at several life sentences. You don't get in trouble for the drug cartel framing you. Officer Mark is a tall white guy with white hair. He's worked my case since 18. August 21st to 23rd of 23. It's a Tuesday. About noon, my car's bugged. He's out in Cole's parking lot in Belden. He said, none of this is funny. And he's talking to this lady. Said, she said, did her ex-husband defend her? He said, yeah, we taped him. So did I. Karen, you're good to the kids. You're good to the grandkids. You wouldn't hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. I taped him. So did they. Several times defended me. So did anybody ever talk to her? He said, no. Then they really did frame her. He said, it's documented they framed her. He said, was it the drug cartel? I said, yes. So who's Michelle and Alex / Pete? The drug cartel. It's documented it was a drug cartel that framed her before. She's like, none of this is funny. He said, it's also documented it was a medication error that made her sick before. And it's also documented some other woman was using her insurance. She's like, none of this is funny. He said, I know it's not. That agent knew that. He stole my money. He probably stole from other cases too. And these people, he does not have authority to ask you to stay quiet at all. It's not in the court order. He lied to everybody. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, he was just bullying you so he could get away with this. He's stealing from cases. He's selling victims back to the predators so that he could steal their money, run scams on them. Okay? And he's lying to everybody can do it. There was an agent, John Gillespie Gilmore or something like that. Had a weird last name. I actually said it several times in the beginning of the case. And I was up in Akron working. One of the Summit County sheriffs up there was talking to people, or the Akron PD in that area was knocking on the door when I first started. We don't want you to say a word to her. And said, did you ever listen to Karen before? Because all the police know they saw the login. They said, yeah, we listened to her. And did they mention that John's name? She said, yeah, she mentioned him several times in the beginning of the case. said, we thought it was him. We asked the FBI about it and they refused to talk to us. I said, do you think that agent fell for the Stunna tapes before? Said he better not have known about him and he better not have looked at him. He would know he couldn't do it. It's illegal to. Okay? He said, and the man that did it to her, she's never even met him. Then how did he do it? We don't know, and everything's photoshopped on her before. Nobody's to say a word. And they were up there telling everybody that. Okay? Thanksgiving 18, John defends me when I ask him what's going on with his kids. He's like, Mama, I don't know. Melissa's going to have to make up something because of the divorce. They could never say anything bad about you. No one could. But she'll probably have the church people make up something too. But nobody could ever say anything bad about you. So don't worry about it. What do they say? He just defended me. Okay? Because they got caught staying in the basement. They made everything up for Auntie Shaw and Papa to get the house and Grandma need to get out. And they made everything up to Flora. It took me Games of Pretend. Took me a year. Flora ratted them out October 23rd, 2019 of the Mean Games of Pretend. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. I would have spanked them. Let's see. I went to Josh because they were making up stuff on Josh. Supposed to flash him, hurt him, blah, blah, blah. I said, Josh, I've never hurt you. I've never done anything wrong. Never said you did. I said, I've never flashed you. He's like, Mom, where are you getting that? He said, are people making stuff like that up? I'd move away. I'd verify you never flashed me. They made up so many crazy crap stuff. You're supposed to hurt people. You're supposed to have done this. You're supposed to do that. I've never talked to anybody. I would come in from working outside, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, go and use the bathroom, come back out, take a drink, and I'd get dizzy. And hours would pass and I'd wake up with more bruises. And it's like I don't remember banging myself. I'd wake up with marks that look like injection marks. They were drugging the hell out of me. And that's where their fake sodium pentothal reports date rape drug confession. Danny defended me, Jen defended me, Dixie defended me, my other grandkids, sweetest grandma ever and best grandma ever. It's a big sex extortion scheme. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted and never been found guilty. I was raped and tortured July to September 19 in protected custody. There, between midnight and 3, there's a video of it, and the guy actually raping me is a fake FBI agent. If they want a picture of Alex, the guy impersonating retired Judge Pete, should be 12/21/18. I get a shower. I go to the refrigerator. I'm stabbed in the neck. I have a dent in my head the size, it feels like they said a ball-peen hammer, where I'm bashed in the back of the head. I'm knocked out for 6 hours. I wake up. I had migraines for 2 years. It felt like half my head was going to explode. There's a white comb on Dave's dresser. He's accusing me of having an affair. I got marks all over me. I don't know what happened to me. Okay. January 4th, 19, in Bob Evans in North Canton, in Belden Village. They yell at him in front of people, you idiot, you left your comb over there, and he admits to hold me down in front of people. It's him in a beard. Ludic even seen him. People at Faith Family Church knew Michelle. They also knew Alex, and then they knew him as Pete. Dixie knew him. John knew him. Melissa knew him. Her kids called her Auntie Shell. It's just that stripper and her brother scamming people in the Florida drug cartel. They have connections into the King from Texas, for we all work for the King from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. He was one of the biggest drug lords. If you Google who's the King from Texas, a drug dealer, he's a fentanyl king. He is U.S. military Iraqi translator, went into the dark web, one of the biggest fentanyl kings in the U.S. That's who they went after. My whole family defended me. Officer John is a dark-haired guy with a young guy, white, with glasses. He yelled out in Walmart, it's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good in love. I had an older investigator get into big guy's faces. Karen's one, I know everything about Karen. She's one of the finest women you'd ever meet in life. Don't you ever disrespect her. Officer Marks, a tall, white guy with white hair. He was telling people in Walmart in the beginning of the case that Agent Will gave Karen no wrongdoing in life because she wouldn't abuse it. I have one traffic ticket. That's the only thing on my record. 1989. Dave used to tease me. I was like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way, Karen. Well, I like being Mary Poppins. Okay? I was raised to be a good person. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. And the drug cartel victimized me and framing me. And it's documented I was framed by them. And they, just like up in Akron, in September or October, it'd be a Thursday or Friday, my car's bugged. In the afternoon, some ladies walked by me and my client. They said some of the drug dealers they hired to keep an eye on her, they don't even think this is funny. Did she do anything wrong? They said no. The drug cartel, the drug dealers already confessed that they photoshopped everything on her, and they made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know. I even went to her ex-husband, and he asked him if they did say it was a medication error that made her sick before, and tell him to sue him. He said yes, and he didn't. He knew all that, and let all those people hurt her, and didn't say a word. None of this is funny. They have admitted they drugged me and told me to say it. From February 2nd, 22 in Burlington Coat Factory, a Latino guy. People ran in to Save-A-Lot. People ran out of their houses on 6th Street, screaming it. Even garbage guys a few days later, swearing and yelling about it down the street. They admitted they were drugged and told me to say all kinds of stuff in 18. And then laughing how they framed me before in 18 in front of the cops. May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. 8/9/21, first thing in the morning. Let's see, January 19th, 22, the February 2nd, 22, of drugged and told to say it. Everything drugged and photoshopped. November 1st to 3rd of 21, December 9th, 21, several places ahead. And then the guy at the Hunger Task Force, my client, March of 22, that everything was drugged. Their neighbor, everything was drugged and photoshopped. They admitted framing me March 24th, 22, 1/130. The shower scene in the other room, May 12th, 22, and May 26th, 22. They made fun of FBI agent John, June 7th, 23, in Walmart 62, 10/11 in the morning. Eric confessed November 18th, 22, Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon, how he photoshopped everything and everybody fell for it and he mocked everybody. June 30th, 23, he went to a party and how he made fools out of everybody. It's a big drug scam. I'm going to go ahead and upload this.